Good morning, everyone. We're continuing in the Iggeres HaRamban, this letter that the Ramban wrote to his son, and we continue along the same idea that we were discussing for the last 2 days. And we are delving into the insidious trait that a person has brewing inside of them called kas, called anger. And the Ramban writes, Shehi mida ra'ah. Anger is a terrible midah, a character trait. It's a serious character flaw. Lahachati b'nei adam, which causes a person to sin. Very simple. Anger is terrible. It's horrible. It's awful. It's something that is so devious inside of the person that when one finds themselves in the grips of kas, of anger, it will cause them to do sin. The Gemara tells us that kol hakoyes, anyone that gets angry, toiref nafsho, he's ripping up his nefesh, his soul. At the time that a person's blood begins to boil, and the smoke starts coming out of their nose, and the anger and the tension and that face of obstinance starts coming upon them, and they allow themselves to give in to the anger that they feel welling up inside of them, they should know that at that moment, Taref Nafsho, they have ripped up their soul, which means whatever spirit of Kedusha, whatever sensitivity they have towards other, the Rahman is the mercy that they can have on another human being, and the chesed that they feel inside of them, the chokhmah, the wisdom that resides inside of their minds, in order to help them to use their bechira, their free will, to do the right things. Toiref, it is ripped up and cut up, and it does not exist at all. Which is why kas is such a midah ra, such a terrible, terrible trait. And that's why it causes a person to sin. When does a person do chait? When do they sin? If a person really would think about the Ribbono Shel Olam, and they would think about how precious their neshama is, and that the neshama only wants one thing, which is to cleave to the Ribbono Shel Olam, and it wants to remain pure and good and healthy in ruchnius and spirituality. So then when sin would come my way, I would stop, think, and ask myself, is this really something that's going to benefit my relationship between my neshama and Hashem? And if the answer is no, then I will avoid it. I'll avert myself in another direction and steer clear of sinful behavior. However, if Toiref Nafsho, if I ripped up my neshama, and therefore my neshama is not working now at the time that I am confronted with lust, or with hate, with sin, or with lowly desires, or the anger begins pulsating through me, and someone that if I would have stopped to think, I would have been kind to them, I would have just kept my mouth closed, I wouldn't have said what I was thinking on my mind. But now, since Taref Nafsho, the nefesh, is no longer there, I let loose and explode on this person, and do who knows how many chatoim, how many sins. I could destroy worlds. If I could rip up my own soul, I could destroy the lives of others and worlds altogether. And therefore, says the Ramban, kas is something that we have to be aware of. It is a terrible, terrible trait which resides inside a person if they allow it to. However, if, as we are going to study and talk about as we go through this beautiful letter of the Ramban, if a person will get hold of themselves and control of themselves, they'll be in control of the anger, and the anger will not be in control of them until we get to the point where things that normally trigger us, get under our skin and frustrate us, we will learn how to look past them and live a life of menuchas hanefesh, of true peace of mind. From everybody here at Makor Chaim, wishing you all a wonderful day, a day filled with simcha, with bracha, and with the courage and the koyach and the strength to overcome the anger that sometimes finds its ugly head and rears itself in our lives, and in that way, Be'ez Hashem, live a life of true peace and tranquility.